Hey, everybody. Welcome to the True Crime Squad. I almost said the Psychic Hour, and that is Katie's fault, and I'll tell you why in a minute. I am Christy Brower, and I am here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey, Katie.
Well, hi.
How's it going? Why am I blaming you for almost saying the Psychic Hour?
Well, because in the back office of our software, we have this show scheduled, we have the Psychic Hour scheduled, and we have the cold read party scheduled. And I went straight into the Psychic Hour. So 7:01 came. I'm like, where the hell is she? And then I realized I'm in the wrong room.
So I was thinking
tomorrow.
the same thing, only I was in the right room.
I was messaging you on Facebook, like, you're probably wondering where I was. Anyway, I'm here. I'm fine. I blame the fact that I went to Costco, 3 to 4 days before Christmas, and it's ruined me. I'm ruined. So that's all.
Oh, I would imagine. I would imagine so. Well, yeah. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you made it.
Me too.
It's kind of that kind of a day, it's the winter solstice. And I slept so long and so hard that when I woke up, I thought maybe it was already 2023. I had, did you ever do that? And then you wake up and you're like, where am I? What time is it? What day is it? I had one of those. Yeah. So I get it. I think we're all feeling that way just a little bit.
Well, the winter solstice is supposed to do that.
It's
supposed to settle us down, calm us down. Now, I'm not settled nor calm, but I will be in the next day or two, I think. But yes, happy winter solstice.
How is having the college kids home going?
It's mostly good. Yeah.
Well, good.
My God, the bickering.
Oh no.
Scott and I just very rarely fight. We tease each other, and we have fun, but jeez almighty. Yeah, it gets old. I finally had enough, and then I snap at everybody, and they're like, "Why are you being so ornery?"
And you're like,
"Are you kidding me?
You think this is me?"
Yeah. No, it's good. It's fine, but yeah, we have wrapped everything that's in this house has been wrapped.
Like your whole house is wrapped.
Basically, yes. Now, there's a few things that haven't come yet that are causing me a great deal of stress and strife. Amazon and I are about to have a really unpleasant throwdown, unfortunately.
Sounds like it.
That hopefully I come out the winner on. But really, we're pretty well done.
Nice.
And we're going to play a game on Christmas Eve. I'm so excited about it. I went to the liquor store today and bought 10 of the mini bottles of various things and a bunch of Lindor truffles, and I have a whole bunch of $1 bills, and we bought a bottle of boozy pickles. And this is why you got that text from me today.
Yeah. So get this. I have to be at a liquor store near my house tomorrow at 11 when it opens.
Sharp.
Like pre-11, because they're getting 2 bottles of boozy cherries, and I've got to be, in for fighting to get one of them.
Because we need
those. I don't know what is going to happen to that, but
I don't come out of there without a bottle of cherries. That's what I'm telling you.
I'm going to do my best, but I would prefer not to get arrested a couple of days before Christmas. Just saying.
Do it for the cherries.
I did say I sharpened up my elbows just in case.
So here's the game. Of course, I saw it on a reel on Facebook. So you take cups, just like Dixie cups, and you lay them out on the table, like a whole bunch of them, and you put stuff under each one of them.
Oh, yes.
A little bit of money. The thing I saw, they had a ton of money. We're not doing that. Ours is mostly stuff and a little bit of money.
Yeah.
But you either get money or you got candy or whatever. Ours you'll get a Lindor truffle, or you'll get like $1, or you'll get a bottle of liquor, or you'll get a 3D printed pickle or a 3D printed cherry. And if you get a pickle or a cherry, then you get to make a visit to the pickle jar or the cherry jar. and it's
Now
gonna be
I've heard
so
real mixed reviews on the boozy pickles. Real
yes,
mixed reviews.
if you
So
ask
I'm
Mama
very
Tot,
curious.
that was a hard pass.
Yes.
But the
Now
girl in the liquor store told us she loves them.
I
So,
adore pickles.
mhm.
But the
So,
pickle sommelier on TikTok didn't like them either, and she loves pickles, like
hmm,
all pickles. So
we're gonna find out.
mhm.
So you put all your cups out with all your stuff, and then everybody gets to come to the table and pick one, and then, you just kinda go through the game till you're done. And
Mhm.
some cups have nothing under them, you know, or maybe you'll put, like, a square of toilet paper or, whatever, something funny. But, that's what we're gonna do.
All right.
So it's gonna
I'm
be fun.
excited.
It's gonna be
I'm
fun, fun,
ready.
fun.
I
Now,
hope
we
we
do
get those
have a
chairs.
few minors in the family, so if they get, an alcohol, prize, they get to turn that in for money. So,
Oh, lucky them.
yeah,
Nice. Ooh.
yeah.
Frankie says we bought that game Ransom Notes and it was hilarious. Frankie, I adore that game so much. It is so funny and so much fun.
We love it.
Are we going to do a video? Fran says we should do a video of this game. Oh my God. I don't know.
It's gonna get wild. Mhm,
It sounds like it.
mhm.
Well, welcome
Well,
to
you
the
should see
chat.
the 3D printed pickles that Scott's printing right now.
I cannot wait. I hope I
They're
get to keep
hilarious.
them if I get one.
Oh, yeah, it's yours to keep.
Oh, yay.
That and a trip to the pickle bottle. Yeah.
And a trip to the pickle bottle.
We
Well,
did
welcome
Chrissy
to,
gets the cherries, yeah.
yeah, well, hopefully. Welcome, Cranky, Sherry, Paula, RJ, Cami, Colleen, JR. RJ and JR are here. This is good. Fran, Jacqueline, Holly, Spirit, Gigi, Brandy. Welcome, everybody. Nice to have you here. This is, of course, our Wednesday night case update show, and it is the last case update show of 2022
Yes.
and the last case update show of season 3 of the True
Mhm.
Crime Squad. So, we're going to have a good time. We have some interesting things to share with you. It's a bit of a slow news day in some ways,
But
and in
some
other
pretty
ways,
good
we've got some real
stuff.
barn burners. Yeah.
For sure, yeah. Well, and if you didn't see our episode this morning, make sure you watch it sometime over the break. We had a ball with
Yes.
it.
We had so much fun. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, just don't forget that absolutely none of those stories are true. Okay. Do not add us.
My
You'll
husband
see
said,
why.
I hope that there was wisdom in doing that show." He's like, "I hope you were clear enough that those stories aren't true." And I said, "I think we were so very clear." So then it showed up on his YouTube, so he watched it. He doesn't always watch it like our whole show, but he watched the entire thing and he's like, "That was hysterical." And also, "Yeah, you made it really clear they weren't true." Yes. Yes.
Yes, good. Okay. I'm glad to hear that. Yes, Holly, the speech from President Zelensky was a tearjerker. Yeah, that was a very inspiring thing that happened today.
Mhm.
That he was able
Yeah.
to visit the US. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we should jump right on in here. Let's just kick this all off with old Alex Murdaugh because I mean, why not?
Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we? So, as we know, they're working on trying Alex Murdaugh right now for the murder of his wife and his son, amongst, a gazillion other
Millions of
infractions.
other things.
Infractions, that doesn't seem like enough.
No.
But so the prosecution announced today that they will not be seeking the death penalty.
Yeah.
So that was one of the things they have been arguing about, partly because it was going to really slow down the trial, and just partly because they feel like that's correct for the crimes.
Mhm.
I don't know if her family would agree with that, but that was the decision.
Mhm.
But there's also a request from the defense that absolutely killed us. We laughed all afternoon about this.
Well, you may have seen I did a short on it because it just killed me.
Hmm. This is so well, I think it's so Daybell-esque, you know.
It is
This is something that I so
very
could have
much.
heard Mark Means or, John Pryor saying, but the defense has asked the judge to not allow evidence related to the alleged motive. They argue that such evidence only serves to convince the jury that Murdaugh was a bad person who would commit a crime as awful as killing family members. Wha no shit, Sherlock. That's
Yeah.
what we're doing here, Alex and
Well,
our
and
Putlian.
that way, yup, and Harpootlian. Well, and that was, in fact, the motive. He was looking for sympathy because he was about to get slammed with all these financial crimes, and he thought maybe people would feel bad for him. Also, I think there was some money involved in that, but that they
Mhm,
might feel bad for him that his wife and son were murdered.
mhm,
I mean, he can
mhm.
there is no low in which Murdaugh cannot go lower.
Right.
I mean, he blows me away with this crap.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
right, that's why it's called a prosecution. Right, like they
Uh,
don't get to present the motive
yeah.
because it makes him look
Mhm.
bad. Newsflash, he's trash and we all know it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But so typical. Yeah, that's absolutely sounds like something that John Pryor would say.
Mhm.
Your
Your
honor.
Honor, that will make my client look like he could be a killer. Uh,
Yeah.
oh, honey, who wants to tell him? Everything is making your client look like a killer,
Yeah.
especially your client's own actions.
Yes. Yeah,
Hi,
it's
Barbara.
especially your client, you
Uh-huh.
dumb bitch. Yeah, it was just my god. They
I
say the
don't think the
quiet
judge
parts
has
out
ruled
loud.
on that. Yeah.
I don't think that's been ruled on yet, but I hope that the judge just laughs his ass off and then just walks out of the courtroom because that would be the appropriate response to this. I mean,
Not
what?
even answer, just laugh and walk
Yeah,
away. Yeah.
just laugh. Just laugh. Well, we have a lot of kind of little snippets, and some of them you've
Yeah.
probably seen on some of our socials. But one is that top of the FOS list, and definitely not friend of the show, Alex Jones, tried to file Chapter 11 bankruptcy after, the $1.5 billion settlement that he is due to pay the Sandy Hook families.
Mhm.
And so there was a stay in that case because he filed for bankruptcy. And a judge said, nah, we're not doing that, and lifted the stay. So
Yeah.
again, Alex Murdaugh, no, Alex Jones, they're the same person. They're practically the same person.
Mhm.
Alex Jones is failing at avoiding to pay that unbelievable sum of money,
Yeah.
which we're all here for it all day long.
Yep. The judge is like, "You can liquidate stuff, and you are not taking out bankruptcy, so
No. Well,
get
and
at
you're
it."
yeah, and you're not going to try to slow anything down or stay anything to try to hide your money.
Mhm.
Because we all know that's exactly what he's trying to do. He's going to try to
Mhm.
hide all of his money and, not have to pay this.
Mhm.
I don't think
But
the courts are
oh
going to let
my
him get away with it.
goodness, posting that on our socials drew some, folks out from under their rocks. Ay, 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 some
One
Alex
poster
Jones lovers
posted,
did not like that.
Alex Jones is king. And I responded with, of the morons? We've had a little bit of a good time with the trolls because seriously, if you're out here defending Alex Jones,
Mhm.
you've got some serious problems, my friends.
Mhm.
Well, speaking of trash, guess who's moved to Ohio?
Yeah.
Convicted rapist and trash can walking
Mhm.
Brock Turner, or
Rock
as I called him earlier, the most privileged rapist on the planet. You may
yeah.
know. Remember, Brock Turner was convicted of raping a woman behind a dumpster outside a bar in
That was
2016,
unconscious.
unconscious, and he got a tiny, tiny little sentence because the judge didn't want to ruin his young life, don't you know? Well, there's a warning going around social media that he has moved to Ohio. He's living in the Kettering/Oakwood area and has been seen frequenting local bars.
Oh, dear
Are
God.
you fucking kidding me with this? So, you know what you have to do. If you live in that area and you see him in a bar, and here are a couple of pictures of him. And if you're not watching this on video and listening, please just do a 2-second Google search and you will see plenty of pictures of him.
Mhm.
Please inform the bartender that there is a convicted rapist in the bar. Point him out. He's not
Mhm.
hard to miss because he's got curly hair.
Mhm.
Make sure all the women in the bar know exactly who he is and do not let anyone leave with him.
Mhm.
apparently Brock Turner has to be policed by the masses.
Mhm.
And okay, I'm here for it.
Yep.
Ooh, that little creep. Ooh,
Yep.
right.
Disgusting.
Katie, there's some movement in the Casey White case, which we haven't talked about in a while.
Yeah, a couple of things going on with Casey White. So you guys, you know that when Casey White was I didn't get my article pulled up. You know that when Casey White ran away, when he escaped with Vicky White, he was in prison awaiting trial or in
Right.
jail awaiting trial for murder, right?
Yeah.
So he still has those murder charges, of course. And now he has secondary murder charges because he's also charged with murder in the Vicky White matter.
Right.
So now he has two cases coming up in 2023. So the first one will be the other murder, the murder of the woman who that he killed in her apartment, and then later this year he'll stand trial as well for escaping murder while escaping or in the act of escaping or something along those lines
Hmm.
for Vicky White's death.
Good.
Yep. So there's at least some movement there. Yeah.
Yes, there is.
One thing
And
that the sheriff disclosed in September that I think we all assumed, but it had never been actually said before, is that they were having phone sex. They were having phone sex.
gross. Also, those calls are recorded. Why didn't anyone know?
Yeah.
And did they know? And were they looking the other
Psh,
way? And then look at
right?
the disaster that happened? I mean, come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. That
Yikes.
kills me. That those are recorded calls. That is so brazen of her. But I'm guessing she
It
was the person
is.
monitoring the calls.
And maybe she was, if that was the whole thing.
So,
Because, yeah, how could she not have been afraid she'd get busted that way?
mhm.
Yikes.
Yep. Really gross. Yep. Yeah.
Well, something else that happened this week. The Nazi typist known as the Secretary of Evil is a 97-year-old woman called Irmgard Ferkner, and she was found guilty of complicity in 10,500 murders in a Polish concentration camp in World War II.
Mhm.
She was given a 2-year suspended sentence, so she will not see any prison. She's 97. I don't care. A Nazi is a Nazi. She worked that job for 2 years, you guys. She was very young. She was actually
Mhm.
tried in juvenile court because she was a minor at the time that she had the job. And there's, at least some awareness there, but she worked there for 2 years. It wasn't like,
Mhm.
you know, she didn't speak up, she didn't leave, whatever. She stayed for two
Right.
years and she knew. They were able to prove that she did, in fact, know what was happening in that concentration camp.
Mhm.
I just, so this was another one we posted on TikTok today. And somebody said, "Are we still on this? You mean the Holocaust?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me, dude?"
We actually are. Yeah.
And someone else posted, "Dome." What the hell, man? I mean, why am I not surprised that there are so many neo Nazis around when people behave like that?
Mhm.
When we found, another Nazi who is complicit in the murders of 10,500 people.
Mhm.
She got to live out her whole life. She's 97.
Yeah.
You think about how many people and the ages of the people who died in that concentration camp when she was working there as a typist, who didn't get to live out their lives and whose families didn't get to live out their lives with them.
Mhm.
It's horrifying. And
Yep.
it was horrifying to me, um, to see that someone would comment like that. I was
Yep.
very grateful to see other people landed directly on that person with both feet. They asked them if they had a diagnosis, like a frontal lobe lobotomy or something, which I thought was pretty great,
I didn't even
considering.
recognize the username. I'm like, I don't
Mm-mm,
even know who this
no.
person is, but have at it.
Yeah, I went back at them, and then they did. Yeah. Anyway, but it's stunning to me to see
Hmm.
people that are like, yeah, whatever, we don't care. Are you
Yeah,
serious? Scary. Yeah, lock her up. Right, Colleen. Why does she get better treatment than the people that died there?
yeah,
Really? Just because she managed to live her whole life before getting busted? That's just sick.
yep,
Just sick. Speaking of sick, Katie, there are some updates in the Roland case.
yeah.
Would
So
like to
this
share
is the Roland
those.
case that we brought to you on Tuesday.
Mhm.
This is Ashley Roland and her boyfriend that were arrested for capital murder of her son. There are more details that have come out now about how this all played out. So we knew that mom had been, or grandma had been, trying to get some visitation on these kids. So, and she was doing that on behalf of her son, who is the children's dad.
Mm,
And there have been a lot of problems. The boyfriend, Nathan Bridges, actually pulled a gun on her son, and they were advised by a lawyer not to go back to the house. And so they have been really, really struggling to get any visitation of these kids. They haven't allowed them in the house, that, threatened them with a weapon. It's been, and they know it's a really, really bad situation. So
mhm.
they've been going to, uh, working with an attorney and have spent an unbelievable amount of money with the courts to get some orders in place that were enforceable. So
Right.
on Friday, she knocked on the door and told them that she was coming to, to enforce visitation. And they tried to stop her, but she could hear the granddaughter whimpering and crying, and she could tell that there was something wrong. So she literally forced her way, burst through the door and forced her way in, and discovered that poor little Taylor couldn't even walk. And so she gathered her up and left with her and went straight to the hospital. That we already knew,
Mhm.
to discover that Taylor has multiple broken bones in various stages of freshness or healing. She had has third and fourth degree burns on a good deal of her body from having a pot of boiling water thrown on her
Oh god, that's what we
by
were wondering what
the
did that.
boyfriend.
Jesus.
She has water on her brain. She has broken ribs and other injuries,
That's
and is in
unbelievable.
a terrible amount of pain. And of course, the hospital is now, doing everything they can do to take care of her. And she apparently told grandma, the GoFundMe says that she told grandma that her little brother, Blue, oh, bites. She was also covered in human bites, like adult
Yes.
sized bites. She told grandma that Blue bit mom's boyfriend and he drowned him in the toilet. That's how he died. It is one of the most horrifying cases of child abuse I think I've ever seen
Yeah.
in the work we've done here thus far. So, of course, they are both
Mm.
charged. So, after they got her to the hospital, of course, they called the police. The police went in. Also, Taylor weighed 36 pounds. She is
Wow.
7 years old,
Ugh.
and she weighed 36 pounds. Terribly malnourished. So, they sent the police back over to the house. They found him, in a box, a wooden box under the house, and they're still saying they believe that he has been deceased for at least 3 months. And we still haven't heard of a cause of death on him yet, but
Mm.
that's pretty much where it's at. Uh, it's awful. And we've seen mugshots of mom. We haven't been able to see a mugshot yet of the boyfriend. I'm not sure why, but mom has two black eyes. She
Yeah.
has one like very distinct black eye, but if you really zoom in on that, both of her eyes are blackened.
Yeah.
So I'm sure she was suffering from horrific abuse in that home as well. But these are her children.
Yeah.
And they had a grandma and a dad who wanted them.
Yeah.
And instead of getting
Who
those
could
kids
have
out of
been
there,
keeping them safe instead of this bullshit.
yep, yep. The whole thing is just horrific.
That is.
So, however, I will say that their GoFundMe is up to $23,000, almost 24,000 now. The GoFundMe is to help to bury Blue and then also to pay for the care. Though they'll have a lot of help from the state and from the Crime Victims Fund to help take care of Taylor's care. But
Mhm.
they also will be bringing home a little girl that is going to need an extreme amount of medical care, psychiatric care. Like, this child has been to hell and back.
If she ever really recovers,
Yeah.
you know.
Yep. So, grandma has been given emergency custody, though, of course, So she does have that going for her at this point, but
Yeah,
that's what we know.
that is
Yeah.
what we know. We'll keep reporting, although it hurts my
Oh,
heart to even hear these stories.
I
But
guess we also do know that mom and boyfriend are being held without bail.
oh yes,
Shouldn't surprise anybody.
no,
Yeah.
no, but ugh. Well, we'll keep updating as we hear more.
Yeah.
Cranky, thank you for reminding me of this one. The city of Buffalo, New York, has filed suit against several gun manufacturers and distributors. That just happened yesterday. They are alleging that these gun makers are fueling violence in the city by making or providing thousands of firearms recovered in crimes committed in the city of Buffalo and New York State. So they have filed against several companies, including Smith and Wesson, Beretta, Remington, Glock, and Bushmaster, as well as what they're calling ghost gun companies,
Mm.
including ARM or Ally and Polymer 80,
Mhm.
uh, that contributes to a condition that endangers the safety and health of the public of the city. This, of course, is in reference to, in part, the grocery store shooting that happened in Buffalo earlier this year.
Yep.
Mayor Byron Brown says members of our community have suffered too much and for too long from gun violence.
Mhm.
We must do everything we can to decrease gun violence. Enabling the possession of illegal guns destroys lives and deeply affects our neighborhoods, especially in Black and Brown communities. This is really
Wow.
brave. This is not a common thing.
Mhm.
We've only ever seen um, Sandy Hook. Some of the Sandy Hook parents did this as well, but it has not been a common thing
No.
for anyone to sue gun manufacturers. But gun
Yeah.
manufacturers are shielded from any kind of culpability, any kind of liability
Mhm.
when it comes to producing the kinds of guns that are used to mass murder human beings.
Mhm.
So it's very interesting. You're right, Cranky. Hit him where it hurts in the wallet. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with this.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see here. We have
Wow.
lots of uh, quick things. Let me see what else we have here. We have a couple other things. Oh, Katie. Ugh, here's another terrible one. You want to talk about the missing twin?
Yeah. I was just getting a picture pulled up for this one because you want to see these little guys. There is a case that is going on right now in Ohio where a car was stolen. Look at these two. A car was stolen that had two infants in it, twin babies.
Oh my god.
So they're 5 months old. Their mother was driving DoorDash and she pulled up in front of a high pitched beeping.
I don't know, Joy. I don't hear a high pitched
I'm
beeping.
not hearing it either.
Does
Hmm.
anyone else hear it? Comment for us in the chat, guys, if anyone else hears that. I don't hear anything.
I don't either. I don't know. So, mom is a DoorDash driver, and she had pulled up in front of a pizza place where you could see, the car from the counter, and she'd left the babies in the car and ran in to pick up an order for a customer. And as she walked in, a homeless woman walked out and jumped right in her car and took off with
Oh
it,
my God.
with both of those 5-month-old sleeping babies inside. Uh, she went to a gas station. She's in a black 2010 Honda Accord. She went to a gas station and asked someone for money. They have that on CCTV. And then at 4:15 a.m., one of the babies was found abandoned near the Dayton International Airport.
Mm,
They know who she is. She is known to the police. Her name is Nala Jackson.
okay.
And for whatever reason, Nala abandoned one of the babies and didn't abandon the other. The police think she still has that baby. So the baby she abandoned is fine. And now they're just desperately trying to find the other one and are just worried sick and, doing everything they can to find her, to find this car and figure out where the hell she is. So there was a vigil today, and the grandma, LaFonda Thomas, had spoke to the news. The baby she still has name is Kason. She said, if you look at him and you see anything, see a precious child who is longing for his mother, we beg you, please, please, please do the right thing and just bring my baby home.
Yeah.
The assistant chief of police said, we are committed to finding baby Kason. We want Nala to do the right thing. We know she's capable of doing it because she did release one baby.
Right. That's, I mean, is she seriously trying to keep the other one? Is that what's happening here?
The
Sorry
car does
about the
not.
pups, guys. Somebody pulled up in front of my house and,
Oh, how
my
dare them.
dogs cannot shut up.
They the the authorities said that one of the challenges is that this was a new car to mom and it did not have plates on it. So they have no plate to search for, which is a downside. But it is a
Mhm.
black 2010 Honda Accord, and they have obviously an APB out for it. And they believe that the perpetrator is homeless, so she may be living in this car. But also, so they're saying if you see her or somebody that looks like her or somebody packing around a 5-month-old baby that you're not sure should have that baby, just call the
Mhm.
police and let them sort it out
Yeah.
because that baby's out there. Can you imagine?
No,
Oh,
no, that is fear beyond anything I can imagine.
still really holding space that that baby is okay. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. We did talk about this a little bit, or maybe I did a video on it. But good news, Scott Peterson does not get a new trial.
Yeah.
And that is such a relief, I think, for
Mm,
the families involved, for the entire world. I mean, if there um is anyone who should not be out in the world, it's Scott Peterson.
mm. I am so relieved because this case has made me very nervous that he would really get a new trial. I'm
Yeah,
so excited and relieved that he isn't for her family's sake. My God.
yeah. So he will be staying right where he is. Of course, they did reduce his sentence from the death penalty to life in prison.
Mhm.
All of this is due to a juror not disclosing some things they should have disclosed.
Mhm.
Uh, but there's nothing wrong necessarily with the conviction itself, is what they've determined. So that is good
Mhm.
news.
Yep.
In a little more good news, Harvey Weinstein
Oh yeah.
was convicted of rape in LA this week.
Yeah, kind of good news. I mean, he was
Kind
convicted
of.
of one rape out of 4 he was being charged with,
Right, right.
but
but at least it was one. It's better than none because,
Mm,
sometimes he's been fairly slippery, which is very scary.
mhm,
He already is serving a 23-year sentence for rape and sexual assault in New York,
mhm.
and he's 70.
Yeah.
So now he's been convicted of another rape. Pretty much ensures that Weinstein is not ever getting out, which is really what matters the most. I mean, of course, I want justice for all of his victims,
Mhm.
but if we can at least keep him locked up forever,
Yeah,
that would be great.
absolutely. I mean, a lot of these, sexual assaults are quite old,
Yeah.
and it doesn't make them any less relevant, but sometimes they are harder to prove.
Yes,
So,
they can be, and that's part of the difficulty here, and so I think
yeah.
that is a big relief.
Mhm.
Um, Also, in the Cody Bigsby case, Cody Bigsby is
Yeah.
a little boy who's been missing for at least, is it a year now? Maybe a little more
At least a year,
than a
yeah.
year. Landscapers have found skeletal remains of a small child not far from where he went missing. They have not identified those remains as Cody's, although what we've heard is that the body is in a duffel bag containing clothing that matches what Cody was wearing when he went missing.
Mhm.
So we'll
And
wait
wrapped
for
in a blanket
that
that was
was
just the
Cody's.
the blankie that he packed around. Yeah.
Yeah. So there may be some way too late justice for that little guy.
Right. I mean, his dad's already in jail and being charged with a whole bunch of stuff, but,
Mhm.
there will be more coming
Yeah,
now that they found Cody.
for
Now, why
sure.
can't we find Oakley Carlson?
Right? Why can't we find Oakley Carlson?
And why can't we find the West Boys?
Mhm.
Now, the West Boys' parents, they're supposed to be I believe their trial is supposed to start in January.
Yes.
So we have our eyes on that for sure.
Most definitely. Most definitely. George Wagner
Yes.
uh was convicted, we know, but he was sentenced this week to
Mhm.
8 counts of life without parole.
Yep.
And that's also good news. I mean, a lot of things are kind of winding down. We're seeing the end of some cases occurring. We're
Mhm.
seeing some good things happening. At
Mhm.
least some of these people will never see the light of day, and that's what we need.
Mhm.
Cammy, bye bye, wine stupid. Yeah, wine stupid. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Harvey Weinstein really he was kind of the start of the Me Too movement
Mhm.
when women started reporting on him, and he's been sexually assaulting women for his entire career.
Mhm.
I mean, his cases are some of them are very old, but nobody's
Mhm.
going to have to ever deal with that jackass
Yep.
again,
Yep.
which is good news. Did we get to all of yours, Katie?
Sorry, one more time?
Did we get to all your cases?
Oh, we did. I was just looking at something we didn't talk about, with Daybell Vallow,
Oh, yes. Yes.
with Melanie Pulowski, that, police cam, footage of Melanie Pulowski, an interview with her the day after her husband was shot at.
Mhm.
Chandler police, they did more than, we ever really thought they did as far as the Ian Pulowski attack. They just then stopped and did
The
nothing.
Brian Boudreaux.
Oh, yes, thank you,
Fortunately,
Pulowski.
Ian Pulowski hasn't been attacked yet, but you never know because he's
Yeah,
married to
it's
Melanie
also Brandon
Pulowski.
Boudreaux, not Brian.
Oh, did I say Brian? Oh my God. There are so many names in that case. Oh,
Mhm. Yes. In the Brandon Boudreaux attack, that they had interviewed her, and she told the police that she had no idea where her aunt was. Isn't that wild, since she went to Arizona with her?
yeah.
She'd been in Idaho with her and traveled to Arizona with her, but somehow she had no idea. Lori? Lori who? She
I
just
don't,
had
do
no
I know
idea.
her,
I
Lori?
don't know. I wouldn't have. Why would I know where she is? Yeah.
She is the queen of playing stupid, Melanie
Mhm.
Pulowski.
Mhm.
The queen of it.
Yep. Which sure makes you wonder, what the hell? You
Yeah,
know? What the hell?
what,
How are there not charges on her? How?
right, right. What do we not know? on her.
Right.
What deal has been cut behind the scenes? There's got to be something.
Mhm.
Got to be.
Mhm. Also, in Tennessee, there were some workers in the Department of Transportation working in their salt facility,
Oh
making brine
yes.
to spray on the roads,
Hmm.
and they found a human heart.
Yeah, like desiccated in the salt. The
Yeah.
hell?
So they don't know who it belongs to. So
And how did it possibly get there?
yeah.
Isn't that so weird?
Hmm.
So weird.
So there's an investigation going on to figure that one out, but
Of course.
just a human heart is all.
Yeah. Yikes. So we'll let you know on that. Linda
Yep.
says life is a lot cheaper for the state and the life as in a sentence is a lot cheaper
Hmm.
for the state and the taxpayers. He's not
Hmm.
going anywhere. I hate to say it in a way, but the death penalty needs to go away. I agree. The death penalty
Hmm.
is incredibly expensive. It's
Hmm.
horrifically unsuccessful.
Hmm.
And I mean, the risk that is taken when the state starts killing people is terrifying to me.
Hmm. For
Yeah.
sure.
And I know I don't necessarily feel bad about it with Scott Peterson. I mean, let him rot.
Yeah.
He was young when he was convicted. I mean, he's got a
Hmm.
lot of time. Yes, Joy, they did determine that the heart was male.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Also in Quentin Simon,
Yes.
the one thing that's come out of Quentin Simon this week is that officials are now saying that it's determined that Leilani Simon beat him to death with some kind of a blunt object while she was high on drugs.
May she please have the same result.
Yep.
Horrifying.
Unbelievable.
Colleen, men have hearts? Well, that one did. I don't know. I mean, as we are reporting this,
Well, you'll notice they didn't find a brain in that salt. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, now we're gonna get it. That's terrible. Well, we did set
One
something
more,
up.
actually.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There's one more that we didn't get to that I realized this is a case that we covered. This was a murder that happened here in our town a while back. It was a kid that
Oh, yes.
my son went to high school with, wrestled with, was friends with, a kid who spent
Yeah.
time in our house that was murdered. Uh, a guy in Idaho Falls. Apparently, they had had some scuffles online. Uh, the kid that was murdered had a car club, and this man had moved to town and kind of gotten involved with his car club, and then had a falling out with them. And I don't know what all was said or done, but he ended up really, really hating this kid and had decided that his name was Nick Bird, and he really hated Nick and had decided that if, in fact, he were to lose his job, that would be the last straw, and he would know that the only choice he would have would be to murder Nick Bird.
Yeah.
Nick Bird was 25, and this guy was is in his 40s, and he did in fact lose his job because of Nick Bird. I don't think so. I believe it's because he's
Very unhinged human.
yeah. And so what he did, and we've already covered this in the past, but I'll remind you what he did.
Hmm.
Uh, he shot Nick Bird in the street in front of his home,
Right.
and then pulled away in his truck, pulled over to a business just down the road from Christie's house,
Yeah.
and called the police and told them, "I just murdered Nick Bird. Here's where he is. Here's where I am. Come and get me. I'm turning
Yeah.
myself in. I'm fully admitting to it." Well, no big surprise. He just pled not guilty.
Yeah. So here we go through all of the bullshit, even though he called and told on himself.
Yep. He uh he is being charged, of course, with first degree murder because he told the police all about how he had it all planned out. And He also had posted this on the internet. He posted a big long thing on Facebook about what he did and why. And, he basically confessed to the public and to the police both. And now, of course, has pled not guilty. But
Yeah,
no big surprise there.
we shall see what happens with that. I mean, he did confess
Hmm.
to the 911 operator, so which is
Yep.
recorded. So we'll see what he's going to go for.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, as you know, we've talked about it a little bit that we learned this year, well, just recently, that we produce more true crime content than we're in the 99% of the
Hmm.
most content of any true crime podcast.
Yep.
We do a hell of a lot, as you all know. And many times you've asked us if there's something you can do to support us or help us. And so we did set up something, which is I don't know if you've ever seen Buy Me Coffee. There are other creators that use it as well.
Hmm.
But we have a Buy Me Coffee profile now where you can send us a little tip here and there if you appreciate our work
Hmm.
and you appreciate sticking with everything, being there to update you on everything that's going on in the world. And so we
Hmm.
thought that might be a fun way if you've wanted to support us or, give us a little thank you here and there, you can do that through Buy Me Coffee. It's
Hmm.
called buymeacoffee.com, and we're True Crime Squad. I just posted a link in the chat for those of you who are there. But if you just go to buymeacoffee.com and look for True Crime Squad, we're right there. And Buy Me a Coffee is $5. You can send us $5. That's just a little tip to help us out. And we do really appreciate it because
Hmm.
we do, as I am sure you can imagine, put an unbelievable amount of time into this podcast every single day. And
It's all we
we
think
intend,
about. It's all we talk about.
it
Yeah.
is. And we certainly do intend to continue that. We're about to start season 4 with some new things. You may have noticed I keep showing up in all your socials with my little update videos, but that's part of
Hmm.
what we're going to do. And we're going to have some new segments. We have a bunch to do.
Hmm.
So if you want to support us and just appreciate what we do, check out buymeacoffee.com and True Crime Squad. That's something we'd really appreciate
Hmm.
when you're,
That's awesome.
given that opportunity. And of course, there's no pressure, and we know you all appreciate us, but
Oh
sometimes we could use a coffee because we spend a lot of time researching.
yeah. That's true.
Yeah. Well, we will be back tonight for those of you who are subscribers. Well, not subscribers, members of our YouTube
Hmm.
channel. And we don't have a PayPal, but I don't know if you can use PayPal through Buy Me a Coffee, Ali Fair. Take a look. You might be able to.
Hmm.
But we are going to be back a little bit later. So if you are a part of our YouTube membership, of course, we have the True Crime Cold Read Party. We're going to
Hmm.
present a case to you and encourage you to give us your impressions and see what you think. And then we'll read it for you.
Hmm.
And then you can also um, bring your cases that are unsolved cases that you would like us to take a look at as well. So we'll be back
Yeah.
for that. What time did you schedule that for, Katie?
8:15.
8:15. So we'll be back at 8:15 Mountain, which is in about 25 minutes,
Hmm.
and for that show.
Hmm.
And then, does YouTube take a large percentage? Yes, YouTube does take a percentage of everything. So
Hmm.
one nice thing about Buy Me a Coffee is we don't lose anything at
Hmm.
buymeacoffee.com. So that's one way. It's nice. It's a nice way to tip us because we don't have to. YouTube, it's going to take their cut. Patreon also takes
Hmm.
their cut. Everybody's going
Yeah.
to take their cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Which, that's okay too.
it is. It's just how
It's
it
okay
is.
too. And thank you, Colleen, by the way.
Yes, thank you, Colin. We appreciate that
Yeah.
very much. But I think we are going to bid you all well for 2022. We'll
Yeah.
be back with a case update on the first Wednesday of January 2023. We are doing the psychic hour tomorrow for those who are members and on Patreon as well. Yes.
Hmm. Yeah.
So, absolutely. We will
Yep.
be back for all of those, but this is our last one, our last case updates until next year. That's a weird feeling.
Yeah. Thanks,
Well,
guys.
thank you all for being here. We just appreciate you and love you. And We'll be back. You know it. We are the True Crime Squad. Thanks for being here.
Take care.